New Year's Eve celebrations across India could hit a major roadblock tonight, as gig workers from food delivery to e-commerce platforms have called for a nationwide strike right on the busiest delivery day of the year. Delivery executives linked to Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit, Zepto, Amazon and Flipkart are logging off apps protesting falling pay and rising workload and also zero job security. Unions say workers are being pushed to work longer hours for shrinking earnings with no safety net. The strike is expected to disrupt food orders, groceries and also last-minute shopping in metros like Delhi, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Kolkata and Pune. As consumers prepare to celebrate, the backbone of India's digital economy is demanding dignity, protection and fair pay, turning New Year's Eve into a flashpoint for the gig economy.
एग्रीगेटर कंपनीज भी जो है आप लोग इस तरीके से जो है वर्कर्स को एक तरफ से प्रेशर बिल्ड करने का काम कर रहे, थ्रेटिंग्स कर रहे, पुलिस का थ्रेटिंग मिल रहा, दूसरे तरफ से जो है आपने बाउंसर्स को अपने कार में बिठा के पूरे जितने भी वेयर हाउसेस है, स्टोर्स है, वहां पे आपने बाउंसर्स को अपने कार में बिठा के धमकी देने का काम कर रहे और स्विगी जोमैटो नोटिफिकेशन निकाल के जो है अपने टीम लीडर से, एरिया मैनेजर से आईडीज ब्लॉक करके बोल के धमकी दे रहे। मैं बोल रहा हूं कि एग्रीगेटर कंपनीज खबरदार, अगर जो आप इस तरीके का बिहेवियर करेंगे तो अच्छा नहीं है। हम लोग रेडी है डिस्कशन करके फ्रूटफुल बात करने के लिए। कोई भी एग्रीगेटर कंपनी को, प्लेटफॉर्म कंपनी को दम नहीं है आके हमारे से डिस्कस करके बात करने के लिए। हम वर्कर्स की वॉइस और वर्कर्स को लेके बात करना चाह रहे हैं। आप उनके प्रॉब्लम्स नेर सुनो, फेस टू फेस, 1-to-1 सुनो, उनके प्रॉब्लम का रिजॉल्व करो।
And let us now take a look at the demands of these gig workers. What exactly do they want? Why are they protesting? So their first and foremost demand is that there should be fair and transparent pay structure for them, as they are claiming that they are made to work for longer hours and their pay is also shrinking. So they are now demanding that there should be fair and transparent pay structure. They should be fairly paid for the hours that they are working. The second demand is that end unsafe 10-minute delivery targets. Remember, 10-minute delivery targets were the one that actually, due to which these apps actually rose to fame, be it Zepto, Blinkit. This was the X factor of these applications, and this is exactly what these gig workers want to end, the unsafe 10-minute delivery targets. The third demand is that platform regulation should be under labor laws. So the gig workers want that they should also be under the labor laws. Labor laws should be implemented in this sector as well. Gig workers should also come under the labor laws so that they are not exploited to work for longer hours with very less pay. The fourth demand is that there should be stronger social security and insurance, as there are 10-minute delivery targets which are very unsafe, and due to which there's constant pressure on these gig workers to deliver under 10 minutes, and due to which many times there are accidents also which are reported, and because of no security in these jobs, there are no insurance. So the gig workers are demanding that firstly the 10-minute targets should end, and there should be also social security and insurance that should be provided to these gig workers. Now, let us take a look at the numbers of the gig workers in India. So, in 2020 and 2021, there were over 77 lakh gig workers. If we talk about the projection for 2029 and 2030, it is expected that there will be around 2.35 crore gig workers, 75% working over 10 hours in a day, and hence this protest and hence the demands. They are saying that they're working for over 10 hours in a day, but they are not paid according to the hours that they are working. 41% are not able to take week off. So no week offs also for these gig workers. 10 hours a day plus no week offs is what is leading to the frustration of these gig workers and hence the protests. 42% face violence at work. So that's another crucial point that is being raised by these gig workers, that they even face violence. Of course, the unsafe 10-minute delivery targets are there, but on top of it, there's also violence that the 42% of gig workers face at work. 32% are earning 400 to 600 rupees daily. So that is where the figures stand. 10 hours of work, which leads to 400 to 600 rupees only per day with no week offs, and also violence at work. My colleague Amit Bhardwaj is now joining us on the story. Amit, the gig workers are protesting and they have raised several demands. And this protest also comes on a very crucial day. It's New Year's Eve. It is going to impact the celebrations immensely. But help us understand what is being done about it. Is anybody listening to the demands that are being raised by these gig workers?
Well, Anjali, the gig workers have been speaking about their concerns for years now, and many of the times they had approached the union ministry, central government as well, as far as bringing some kind of sense into what they do is concerned. Social security, job security, bare minimum facilities at workplace have been the constant demands for the gig workers. India Today had, in fact, done a detailed reportage on the condition of the gig workers in the national capital as well. And in that report as well, we had found out as to how, even the basic necessities like charging your phones, using washroom or resting for a while is not available to many of these gig workers, especially those involved with the food delivery apps. And they spend their days in wait of delivery around the road, on the streets, and many of the times more so when you are stationed around apartments and big societies, the security around it, the police around it do not allow you to rest around such areas. So these are major concerns. Now, coming back to the charter that has been on their top priority, it seems that 40,000 minimum pay seems to be something that they are looking at, monthly minimum pay. And they are also demanding that their per kilometer payment should be increased to 20 rupees per kilometer. These are amongst the demands, many other demands that have been asked by the gig workers union. However, will there be a large impact on the delivery system in India, in the national capital? The response to it could be, depends on what kind of strength the unions have in a particular city. For instance, in north of India, in Delhi NCR, you might see a very reduced impact of such a strike on the last day of 2025 because the unions are not as much as active in north of India. But in the southern states where you have more, better camaraderie between the gig workers or some sense of union being into place. For instance, in Hyderabad, from where the Gig Workers Association, one of the prominent Gig Workers Association also operate from, there could be a larger impact on the food delivery services. And 10-minute delivery ecosystem is something which has become a major challenge for these gig workers. Often, experts have also raised their concerns about mental health conditions as well as the safety concerns for these workers.
All right, Amit. Thank you for those details, but do stay with us. So your New Year celebrations might be impacted because of the strike of these gig workers, because your orders will be delayed, there will be long waiting time, and a 10-minute delivery looks highly unlikely today.